Broadway is increasingly being taken for a ride. Rogue pedicabs blasting New York-themed earworms around the theater district are causing chaos, interrupting Broadway performances, clogging sidewalk space, and forcing theatergoers to weave dangerously around traffic, according to disgruntled locals and other drivers. The issue has gotten so out of control over the last year that some actors have started ad-libbing Empire State of Mind blasting from pedicabs outside shows. According to Kenneth Winter, a longtime driver and the spokesperson for the New York Pedicab Alliance, it happens pretty often. They park in front of the theater waiting for the show to come out, as much as an hour before the show lets out, Winter said, noting that the culprits are mostly unlicensed pedicab drivers who charge excessive and sometimes illegal fees. Their point is to make as much money per transaction as possible. They're like piranhas. Yeah, you can hear it inside the theater, Belasco Theater security guard Pete Tarr, 53, told the Post. I'll be working the stage door, and they'll be coming down the street as this show is still going on. A lot of times, we tell them to turn down the music and they give us the finger. The complaints have been well documented for this. A guard at the Gerald Schoenfeld Theater told the Post, the pedicabs create a problem. The growing nuisance has inspired the city council bill, which looks to squash the excessive noise and regular harassment and ban all pedicabs from within 50 feet of theaters. Broadway performers shouldn't have to compete with blaring. Pedicab Speakers Councilmember Eric Botcher, who is co-sponsoring the bill with Councilmember Keith Powers, told the Post in a statement, our bill puts some basic boundaries in place to protect the theater experience and bring order to the chaos outside the stage doors. A spokesperson for Botcher's office confirmed receiving numerous complaints about the matter from both residents and theater workers beginning last year. It's a problem, Winter, who charges a flat $35 rate, said of the noisy vehicles. But it's a bigger problem when they're ripping people off for $300, $400 for a 10-minute ride, he added. Pedicab driver John Abaz, 26, from Turkey, admitted he blasts music to get attention from customers after a performance lets out. When I play the music, I'm gonna get a lot of attention from the customers here, but I play after the show is over. Why would you play during the show? There are no customers. It's unfair to punish all of us. For the few that do that, Abaz added, banning us from waiting outside the theaters will kill our business. Winter said there are already laws on the books to deter nuisance pedicab drivers, and that moving their vehicles 50 feet down the street isn't a solution. We don't support this bill on any level. It's dumb, he said. Instead, Winter hopes the NYPD will crack down on unlicensed fraudsters with stiffer penalties and confiscation of their vehicles. As it stands, the NYPD confiscates unlicensed cabs, but will oftentimes give them back, he said. A spokesperson for the NYPD told the Post the agency has been working to address the complex and chronic quality of life conditions throughout New York City, including nuisance pedicabs. In both the Midtown North and South precincts, which encompass the theater district, there were 425 pedicabs seized and 965 summonses issued from November 1, 2024 to John 31, 2025, the rep said, though seized pedicabs can be returned to their owner once a summons is adjudicated. Patrons of the theater district aren't the only ones affected by the swarm of bike taxis, according to Hell's Kitchen's 45th and 46th Street Block Association President David Stewart, who argues that locals are mostly concerned with street safety. When theaters get out, the pedicabs are generally in the streets. That may be the congestion that they cause forces more people into the street. Tom Harris, the president of the Times Square Alliance Business Improvement District, told the Post. But not everyone seems to mind the commotion. I'm not bothered by the pedicabs, no more than I hear sirens or any other New York atmospheric noises from the Times Square area, said Ezra Knight, an actor performing in Othello at the Ethel Barrymore Theater. I have heard sirens, garbage trucks, honking cars, said David Weber, 39, who was waiting in line to see John Proctor is the villain at the Booth Theater on Wednesday. This is New York. If you pay attention to the noise, you'll drive yourself crazy. Melanie Trintin, 43, who was leaving The Lion King with a friend, called the move to ban pedicabs from the theater district the dumbest thing I've heard all day. If you can't handle the noise, Please move to the country, she said.